first time round. Refresh it now.
You know what, Pop, you can do it inside. Let's get this thing moving.
Huh?
Yeah, let's do
So
it.
you can do it inside.
Yeah, I can do some double play. Let me see something going on here.
Yeah, it's on someone's room. And that's how I can tell. Someone drawing, was just drawing right at the beginning.
I can't see it. Okay, I'm going to do it from right.
Just refresh it. Just put it on my page.
But you can come in. Alright, cool. You know what you do.
Yeah. Yes, greetings to each and every one. Apologies for the late start to the conscious living vibrations. I'm in a different studio and there was issues getting here, but we're here now, ready to kick off the conscious living vibration show. My name's Sister Nkechi the WarriorQueen. I'd like to say thank you to Pose Bless and Ebony Ray for the show that they've just completed, and I'm delighted to announce that we have Asante Amen in the studio. Here he comes. I'm going to sit here. I'm just going to stand. No, I will stand, Masha. Everyone's used to me standing.
Oh, I don't know that we are no.
No, you'll be fine. Right, so we're in here.
I like it. Yeah. Oh, my darling. Trust me. Let them say, love enough. Love straight.
Family.
That's right.
Yes, greetings. So it's really good to have you here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So we've got lots of music for you. The only thing is I can't see it all because my laptop's not here. I tell you, everything that could have gone wrong today has, but I have a list of it here.
All right. See
So
them.
you know what you know what I've got for everyone to listen to.
Yeah.
And have you got some yourself?
Me?
It doesn't really matter because I've got lots.
That's the key. That's the key.
Right. So if you just play with that and play with that. That's a list of what I've got. This is that CD.
Yes.
And that one's all on the same CD. Okay. Yeah.
So, me get to choose?
Well, I'm just going to introduce you a little bit and then let you introduce yourself.
Yeah.
But we need to get you a microphone.
Excellent.
That one there. Got that one.
Oops. We kind of bring this around now, so kind of take it
Just
down.
to take it off.
Yes, nice.
Grab that and then
Yeah, don't put
you
that
can just sit
back.
with it comfortably.
Yeah, that can stay back there, so.
Yeah.
Yes, nice.
Right, I think we're ready.
Without doubt. Let's put this one.
Yep.
Silent.
Greetings to each and every one.
Whoa.
Setting up this Monday evening.
Yeah.
Yep. Woo. So, what would you like us to start with? So anyway, my name's Sister Nkechi the WarriorQueen. This is a conscious living vibration show. We need to both get in so I have to come a little bit cozier.
Oh, you mean, of course. Where the course?
And we have Asante Amen, fresh from Jamaica. And even though he's done all that travelling, he seems to be in a better state than I am right now.
Why? Probably just the luxury of a little bit more sleep. What's that?
Yeah, I've been studying all day. I've had my head in a book. So all of a sudden,
You know,
to
so
get
I love
into-
that though.
Yeah, I've been studying. I'm studying,
That's
and I've
good.
got this assignment to do by the end of by Monday, and it's like big.
Oh,
So, you know, it's just
salute.
big.
See there now? That's what we're
Yeah,
talking
doing some
about.
studies,
Fertile
everyone. So
minds.
forgive me. You know,
Fertile
but Asante, I mean, I
minds.
promised he'll be here, and he's here.
Yeah, man.
So
Without doubt,
at least
family
I've delivered on that one. Yeah, so Asante, so you know,
team. Yeah.
what brings you to the UK right now? It's so lovely to have you.
But outside of reconnecting with beautiful family like you, You know, so me there for do a show with my brethren Thursday.
Yeah.
And differently from that, it's really some projects. We have some projects to complete. I have some music to drop. And England, I find England to be a space where I can come and find time for myself.
Yes. So you find yourself busy all the time in Jamaica?
Every single day.
Mm.
Every single day. And the more we work at the board, the list of things get longer. So if I don't come to a place like England, I'm going to spend a little time in America just to change the dynamics of my everyday liberty, the list will continue to pile up. So this was a necessary move.
So is it space to do more music, or is it more like relaxation or domestic?
You know, sir, it's space to do everything. It's space to write songs.
Yeah.
It's space to do projects outside of music, because my life is not only centered around music.
I hope to talk a bit about that.
Yeah, you know. And
Yes.
and then there's space to, like, in this particular instance now, we have 2 projects, a full-length album as well as an EP we need to complete, plus another EP that has been holding for a minute. So we have projects like that, plus also we have a family here as well that we want to spend some time with and we haven't seen in a while.
Yes.
So every time we come to England, we spend time here because it's not just about music, it's about
true.
life.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, man.
It's true. Yes.
So England, I was second yard every time. So anytime you hear Asante Amen in England, no say the region of pass through him yard for a couple months at least. Yeah.
Well, it's really good to have you here.
Oh, it's a joy.
And I'm so glad that you're in Real Music Studio and definitely on the Conscious Living Vibration show.
Right, word conscious.
And you know, this show is actually a discussion and music show. It's not so much strictly, whereas Wednesday is the roots rock reggae.
Right, we're
But
unleashed.
The reason why I was happy for you to be here because I noticed just from the vibes that I see of you, from the quality of your music,
Right.
that you have, as you said, there's a lot of you that's outside of the music.
Yeah.
In the publicity, I particularly chose that lovely picture of you just sitting meditating in the park.
True.
And I know I do yoga.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yes.
yoga teacher, so I'm particularly in. Do you do yoga?
Not really, you know. I just
But you
exercise.
meditate. You
But yeah,
exercise
but
and you-
meditation is very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prayer and fasting is very important.
Yes. All those things.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So anyway, for those listeners that don't know, because I know we're going on like we know. I've known you for a little bit.
Yeah, for a minute.
Last time you came, and I think I didn't get to interview you, but I know that you've been part
Yeah,
of
man, pause
the
at
Real
that
Music
too.
family for a while.
True.
But there might be some listeners who have never heard of you or not noticed, or maybe they have, but they don't know a lot about you.
Right.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning and find out. So, who are you?
Oh, that is
How
such
would you define
a
yourself?
very complex question today.
It is deep.
I always try to keep it minimal by saying, first and foremost, I'm a spiritual being. Through that spiritual centeredness where we have now, and when I say we, I always say we because I include the divine creator sustainer with me, because I don't consider myself as an individual person, but a connection of physical and metaphysical, the divine as well as what we consider the mundane, our flesh. So we say the we, the plural, but simply spiritual being who channels his energy through music, through writing. We are sometimes an educator, and probably mostly to a philosopher. You know what I mean? We look at life and we philosophize on things that take place, and try to send out word sound, positive vibrations that can hopefully affect change. You know what I mean? And we do that on a micro level by dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. We do that in the classroom from time to time. We do that in the music that we sing and the music that we write, and we do that in the papers that we write. Because as we said, we function in that other sphere as being a writer / academic. So yeah, that's Asante Amen in a nutshell.
I like that. Okay, so that's deep. So that makes sense to me because the depth of which you've defined yourself, I feel that it's reflected in the music that you sing. So when did you start singing? When was your very first? And I've got quite a few of your tunes, but I didn't know if I'd managed to pick, because I've picked some things that you may not even think people are gonna be bothering with because they're from.
Yeah,
way
but that
back.
good took a yoga remind me to go some tune. It might remind me about some songs as well, so that's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
But wow, when I started singing, you know, wow, a long time still. My first recording was probably when I was about 14. 14.
14.
My actual first recording was actually here in England too.
Oh,
Yeah, big up my brother, Michael Walters.
so you were born. You kind of lived between the two.
Yeah, my family
lands.
split in a half. So that's why I say England is home to me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know the first time I revealed this, I think it was here too. I'm actually born in the UK now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm born in Derbyshire.
Oh.
So I'm a Midlands kind of
That's
youth.
near where I did.
Yeah.
That's near Nottingham. Where I did my degree.
Alright. But we live here from babe. You know what I mean? We live here from babe. So we never really grew up in England still. We grew up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And we were born, and my parents were two Jamaicans. My father is from St. Anne, my mother is from St. Mary. So we're Jamaican true and true. We just happen to be born in a country called England. You know, but we don't really celebrate it that way they still, but we love it. The older we get, the more we appreciate England now still. You know what I mean? So we're glad to come, quote unquote, home. Come see our family that is here. But the bulk or the majority of my family really is in Jamaica. Yeah?
So when did you first go to Jamaica?
4, 3.5.
About
I went
10.
back at 4, and then I moved completely at 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you came here to do that first recording at 14, you were just
Right. That was probably my second holiday back here since leaving as a little youth.
And what tune was that?
Actually, is a remake. I Don't Want to Wait in Vain on some kind of alternative beat. Wasn't
Okay.
even reggae, because the brethren at the time was a good friend of my brothers, and he was an upcoming producer at the time, and he had an alternative beat, and that was what came out of it. That I Don't Want to Wait in Vain. And that was my first real work in the studio, and it was a nice motivation because by this time I was already singing in groups in Jamaica anyway. But that was the first real recording. But you never end up put it out, which was a great experience for me still. You know. And then from there, the first actual 45 that touched the road for me was in must have been about 19, and the song called Rastafari's Love. Yeah, inspired through the great late Jacob Miller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got that one. Rastafari is Love.
If you have that would have tough, cause that is a rare track.
Feels a bit familiar. But
yeah, it's a
I can't
rare.
remember if I got it or not.
Might not, cause actually that song was released on vinyl. Big up to Errol Barrett.
No, I don't think I got that one.
Yeah, that is a rare tune. But I want to say for all those who don't know that song, them can
So
look
how can we
for it.
get it? Yeah.
Actually, it's gonna be coming soon because the album we have finished up now, I actually have redone it, add some new vibes to it, and be reissuing that song.
Oh, it'd be good to hear that.
Yeah, man.
14-year-old Rastafari is Love. So you were a Rastafari then? At 14?
Yeah, at 14 we did a site, Rastafari. Because in around that time, about 12, 13, I was actually introduced to radio, to the vibration of Garnet Silk. And Garnet Silk was a big determining factor in the road that I have today. Because I grew up Christian. I think most youths who go to West Indian families grow up in this Christian kind of consciousness. But I never really felt it still. The concrete jungle vibe wasn't really my kind of vibe. I never really feel like that was the only way through which ones could connect with the divine essence or God. So when I stumbled across Garnet Silk and heard the reverence, the sincerity, the passion with which this person was delivering on songs, I started to want to know about this thing called Rastafari. I had never heard about it before.
Okay.
And for me, growing up in music, it was gospel and R&B. That's what we started out singing.
Yes.
Never known about no reggae music. Bob Marley was some Jamaican who had done great for himself, but meant nothing to me.
Okay.
See, so if it wasn't
That
for
makes
Garnet,
a change because a lot of people do say that he was one of the inspirations or influences, but you are saying it was Garnet Silk.
Yeah, Bob meant nothing to me. Peter Tosh meant nothing to me growing up.
Oh, okay.
If it wasn't for Garnet, I wouldn't know these brothers.
Okay.
I would worse Jacob Miller. Like, who was that?
Yeah.
Those names were never called. because of the environment I grew in.
Okay.
So Garnet Silk, what was the linchpin for Garnet for me and for people like me?
Mm-hmm.
Because Garnet is still a touchy topic today.
Mm-hmm.
Some people love him and some people don't love him.
Okay.
And that's just the reality.
Is that because of his politics or?
Oh no, Garnet was all spiritual. But for
Mm-hmm.
those certain ones where I trod the spiritual road,
Mm-hmm.
but have a disconnect with the Christian consciousness,
Okay.
never to dig Garnet.
Mm-hmm.
Because Garnet was literally right there.
Mm-hmm.
His songs were gospel songs.
Okay.
But him as a Rastafari, highly Selassie the first.
Yes.
So it's coming like you could have put on your Shirley Caesar and it could flow straight into a Garnet silk. You really couldn't really tell the difference.
Okay.
Outside of the fact that he would really be putting forward highly Selassie the first.
Mm-hmm.
For a man like me who grew up in that kind of Christian consciousness, having a brethren who could show you a different light, but using almost the same vessel,
Okay.
was great. And I think he
He's
was
like
a
a stepping
master.
stone, like
He was
a stepping
great
stone.
stepping stone
Yeah.
for many of us, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So Garnet have that kind of special place in my meditation, you know?
Mm. Mm.
So through him now, I began to research Rastafari as a young youth.
Mm-hmm.
Start to find who I could find, read what I could read,
Mm-hmm.
and grow in this consciousness. And then I start learn about Bob now and Peter and all these ones culture. Love Joseph Hill, rest in peace, Lion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, enough ones like that. So it was great. That Bridges are catalyst. I always give credence and kudos to Garnet. So,
Okay.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I think I don't know when, but I know that I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, man.
Must have
After.
been. Oh, maybe it's been the last interview. I'm not sure, but I just feel that
Yeah, man.
feels familiar. That vibe.
Yeah,
still.
man. I have to big him up, man. I left him, man. I left him at all.
Good. Okay. So you played the first tune. So, and then the one at 19 was what?
Yeah, so that was the song that my first single from me was Rastafari's Love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as I said, that was inspired by Jacob Miller. Because by this time, I had begun to really delve more into reggae music and the annals of reggae music and who were the players and what this music is about.
So going from gospel and then going from to hearing Garnet Silk that gave you that stepping stone, and then from there getting into reggae. Why did you feel you had to go into reggae rather than stay with the music that you were used to? Because you could still speak about conscious things through other music, isn't it? So what was it about reggae that drew you?
Well, you see, I would already check it. Say it's more Rastafari that draw me more than reggae.
Okay.
Because even in my music today, I still use stylings that are reminiscent of R&B.
Mm-hmm.
So the kind of a musical approach that R&B / gospel taught me, for the most part, I carried with me.
Mm-hmm.
But the vehicle of expression becomes reggae music because of how reggae music and the chanters or the practitioners of reggae music deal with the issues. Now, gospel music, by and large, deals with probably two themes: the Jesus Christ consciousness aspect of it, and the after-death consciousness of it. There are some social commentary songs in it, nice, but that is not their mainstay. While reggae different, Rastafari music different. We are dealing with the issues of the people, the plight of the people, the liberation of the people, and the emancipation of the people.
Good.
And that me idea.
Yeah, and I think the liberation and the emancipation is a really important part of it, because obviously, as we live today and we see what's happening in our lives and around the world, it's needed.
It is needed.
It's just needed, isn't it?
And it's a music what can't, and that's why I say to a one way in some of the writings, as long as there is injustice, inequality, inequity, racism, prejudice, reggae music will always be relevant because we're always talking about these things.
So I think the listeners, of which there are some here, greetings each one.
Salute.
I think they'd like to hear some of these tunes.
Alright. So that means to how we are taught, then we'll start with Real Revolution every day.
Okay, we've got that one.
Yeah, we have to go squeeze that car. People then will understand the balance with which we are talking about in terms of what we call this righteous fire. What we really are using music for the
And I think that was one of the first ones I heard you singing.
Alright.
And I loved that tune.
Alright.
Yeah, down at Passing Clouds. Do you remember the Passing Clouds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, no. Even before that, it was Orleans, a few days before the Passing Clouds. Yeah. Remember I was playing down there, and then you came and did a little thing.
Yeah, man.
And you sang it down there.
Yes.
And then I heard you sing it again.
Yeah, man. That tune there, that tune mean a whole lot to me and a whole lot to a whole lot of people. And
yes. And you sing it so beautifully. So, hear this one.
Rule the nation, rule the nation, rule the nation.
Wonderful, yes. I love that tune. So, you recommended that being first. What is? Tell me the story behind this song as you've written it.
You know, if I big up Jassy, the producer for the tune, and you know, when I get the rhythm, I mean, it's the Bob Marley Heathen rhythm, yeah? Heathen, but the Upon the Wall, and that song meant a lot to me. When I really start getting a Bob Marley music now and hear the songs like that, yeah, it really give me enough strength, you know? So when I get the rhythm now, you know, say, you couldn't really go right in a tune where, well, for me, I don't want the next artist, you know, but I couldn't go sing a Lover's tune on a rhythm like that. Just don't really make sense. So, within the time frame and within the space, again, it's not like we don't sing a few love songs, we do that, yeah, and
I've got a few of yours actually, there's quite a few.
Alright. So we do sing those songs, but we really are more centered and focused on the liberation of the people, spiritually, mentally. You know what I mean? So we're really into that. So when I write this song, you know, it was within that kind of frame of mind that I say, I just needed another song again to get the message across to the people. Say, yo, serious times we are living now. One life me know about. If the next life there, the next life there must be connected to the one we are living now. So make we do the best with this now. And to me, the best is to be spiritually and mentally liberated and equipped for whatever may come. And it's not just for we, but we need to be lights unto the youths that are following. So we play a serious role. So we have to be revolutionary.
And it is revolutionary because the way the whole system's set up, you don't really have time to seek those ways and that way of living.
Precisely.
You know, you always get up in the morning, rush to work, come back, do them. Then you've got all the TV to entertain you and so on and so forth. So, you know, if you just go along with it, then the time to prepare yourself, you know, it's just not there, is it? To in the way you need to do it. So I do understand that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's good.
And this is why we are saying, no, I have to give thanks for the movement of Rastafari, because it gives us another faculty of expression, of analysis, of approach. And because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't, for example, as we talk about what the system has put in place for you to be taken away from yourself.
From yourself, yes.
Rastafari,
your
if
real
you can
self.
find time for yourself.
Yes.
You're going to left the work if you have to left the work and go and want to go relax. Lock off your phone and all these things. And just reflect on creation. Is movement, I mean, other faiths might do it like Buddhism and everything there, you know. But when me I grow, Rastafari, we know about we create that vibe and environment to connect with the earth, with your people. Try find yourself. What is your purpose in life?
But also as well, it's also about recognizing the powers that we have.
Yes,
because
indeed.
most of the time we feel quite helpless in the things that we, you know, in the things that, you know, when they happen to us, we feel we're the victims or we're helpless.
Yes.
But we don't realize even through the power of vision and through the power of thought that we can actually, you know, get rid of things we don't want and call
forward the things you want. Yeah, word, sound, power. Definitely.
So
definitely. So I forget. Me love the movement by me, I love the liberty with me. I'm still
I love it too. So this next tune, Make Me Rich. Should we, do you want to talk about it first, or should we hear it and then let's hear it? Let's hear it. Let's give some people some music, because
continue to blaze the fire of righteous truth.
Let's do that. This one's called Make Me Rich.
No, sir. This you got a lover section and I know.
Is it? This is not the one then?
No, this is getting enough.
So why does it say that on it?
We soon touch it, ladies.
Hold on a minute. Look, number two.
So you have so Getting Enough was number 1. So I want to check right after that.
There's number 2 here.
Oh, I tell you something must have did it, so
I don't know what's going on. Let's try this one. Let's just see. Does this sound more like it?
No, you know what I'm saying.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's a save them, you know. Like, you touch them still.
Huh?
Like, you touch them still. Touch the next one, see what I'm going.
Oh dear.
What?
Which one is this one?
Oh, so Ready for the Gideon. This guy runs still, you know. Ready for the Gideon.
That's this one?
Yeah.
So did it mix itself up then? What happened?
Wow,
it didn't stay in order.
It don't look so.
We're gonna just test them then.
Yeah, man. We're
Well, we
gonna
just have to run it the way it's coming. So
yeah. But
usually,
it's nice.
you know what I mean?
This nice.
So this one's ready for the Gideon.
Ready for the Gideon. And this again consistent with what we are doing. So make put it from top so people can hear it for real.
Okay.
Rastafari.
What a day.
It's all time. All time. All
Usually
time.
it's more set than this. When we get home, I'll show you my studio.
All right.
Everything's just run over it is.
Yeah, man. All time. All time.
Yeah, you've got some lovely studio.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to put them stuff up like. I mean, it's true, you know. When I put it, I put them all together and they were really stuck now. So they had shifted.
But it's not just the teacher.
They're all here.
The righteousness is what we kill.
Have a look like this. So we can just flip between the two.
Okay, but not at this time.
Yeah. So this is the one that's on now is this one, the CD. This is the one that's in. Lots of music. But they may not be in the. I think this one's in the right order.
Right. You have Rasta Child too? Nice. Not today.
We've
Nice.
got the older ones that you may not remember.
Yeah.
I've also got some of the new ones that you just, you know, you assemble everything.
Yeah.
And I just look after them, you know what I mean?
Okay, thanks, Bill.
There's Fire, Burning Fire.
Yes.
Recent one.
Yes.
There's
Roots and culture up in here. Yeah, big job.
yeah, Thomas Jim, yeah. Played it the other day, played it last Monday.
Nice.
There's nice
Nice.
and less love as well. Played it. But the love session, I did a love session last week Monday.
Nice.
Yes, them purpose run out, and we are going with the trumpet sound. That's why we sing. The Rasta ready for the Gideon now. Rastafari know we ready for the Gideon bus now. Ready for the Gideon now. Let me tell you again, the Rasta ready for the Gideon now. The Rasta know we ready for the Gideon bus now. Ready for the Gideon now.
Roots and culture will be my next choice. Roots and culture will be my next choice.
Is that there's one called Roots and Culture?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we'll greet them. That's on the CD. This one's in order. This one seems to have fallen in order. The second one seems to just do its own thing. Yes, yes. Yes. What was that one called?
Ready for the Gideon. Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
So tell me about that tune then.
Yeah, ready for the Gideon. Oh, wow, big up loyal soldiers. Regin them way response for I win. Yes, loyal soldiers them did the approach with that project at the time. And ready for the Gideon, you see, we kind of selecting certain tunes that make the reach where we don't look for. Ready for the Gideon, really revolutionary. So people can see that aspect of where we are coming from. Really and truly, that is the mainstay of the kind of music that I write.
Yes.
Music to provoke the soul into doing right and in developing self. So, and it's about preparedness. We're speaking about preparedness mentally and spiritually. That song is about that. Because we see what's taking place in the world. We know that there's things that aren't right. We know that, for example, in that song I mentioned about men taking advantage of underage girls.
Okay.
These kinds of things that we can't be quiet on these social
No, you
issues.
can't.
We have to be vocal about them. We can't fear say, oh, if I go and inform and that brother over there, something might happen to me. So what happened to the child that's being abused? Something's happening to that child every day.
Yes, and if more people come forward, then more people will be brave enough to come forward.
Exactly.
Understand?
And through that we
And
get
then-
the empowerment.
And
Yeah.
but if one person, but if everyone's behind it, then it'll
Precisely.
make a difference, won't it?
Yeah, man, and that's what we want, man. So them song there is about that, you know what I mean? So we have to be ready. So we say the Gideon / the battlefield, we have to be ready. And you can look in your different walk of life and see what are the issues to be tackled. We are we're imploring everyone to be an agent of change.
To be active.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Indeed.
Proactive.
Indeed.
So, just to remind everybody, this is realmusicfm.com and you're on the Conscious Living Vibration show. And we have the honour of having Asante Amen here in the studio with us, sharing with us his music and his words of wisdom. So, yes, we're getting, this is the Conscious Living Vibration, and this is what we're about here today, the Monday show. It's about us talking, sharing. It is about people in the community that are doing work.
Yep.
And yes, you're an artist, but you're also, through this mission, are doing the work.
A mission, man. Music is a part of the mission. The mission with them, man.
And I'd like to greet the people that have tuned in, those on the Facebook Live and those on the Mixlr.
Yeah.
Greetings, Ebony Ray. Greetings, DJ Jammy. And Music Genius.
Yes. And say DJ Clifton up there, so big up brother
DJ
Clifton.
Clifton, yes. Greetings. Yes, greetings.
Enough ones may I notice on the screen as
and
well.
on One Harmony Radio.
Yeah,
Greetings.
man, One Harmony
Love.
Radio. True.
Yeah, and there's quite a few on Facebook Live, but it's on the little thingy. Prince Eveline, greetings.
True.
Greetings, Dion. And I can't see the others yet. I usually try and get the bigger screen up so I can see.
See what's popping,
eh? But forgive me if I don't call your name. If I try and notice, if you just see one, just call them.
Yeah, man. I'm going to start do that right now. Can we have me a co-host, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a co-host, so help me. You're a little bit nearer to the screen.
Yeah. Big up everyone on the live right now. Trust me. Give thanks and praise for your presence and in making me have this fullness of energy. We really do give thanks.
So the next one is called Roots and Culture.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's the right one.
All right.
Let's go.
True.
Yep. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hit them with truth and their contact goes away. That's why we'll never stray. From the roots and culture. Roots and culture.
All right.
And culture. Now revealed to the youths in a this time. Me tell you in a this time. You can't fool them, say herbs and feed them. Them can tell you about the body leaf and stem. And the medicinal properties contained in every strain of the ganja tree.
The ones I picked are like this. So listen to them first, and I think, that's going to sound nice. So I don't really mind any of them.
All right. Hard temperature will be the next one.
Oh, that's just the one before this one. Yes, cool. So it's like love it now.
That's it's smooth and sweet.
How was it like?
Disturbing.
Okay. So next week. Vibe just went in that direction rather than that direction.
Every time she wakes up, she goes
Too much crime and corrupt politicians.
I'm not a fan of it. He's
So it's not like she's Okay.
Yes, Dion.
Roots and culture.
Drive away the vulture. I like that, Dion, and Chusha. Love that.
Yes. All right. So that one. Any information about that one?
Roots and culture. Big up. One thing I like with my collection of music is different producers, different spaces in life. So this is actually produced by a company called Grizzly Productions out of Italy.
Oh yes.
Yeah, man. So big up Catchy Grizzly and the whole Grizzly family. And again, roots and culture, again, it's a mix of social commentary, yeah? And social issues. Because we are talking about the herb in that tune there. And we know the topical thing with the herb now, especially in Jamaica with the decriminalization of herb and the attempt to capitalize and monetize this plant, right? While in America and England, this debate about medical marijuana versus the original marijuana.
Which doesn't make sense at all, does it? Because
no, because
all plants are medicinal.
Precisely. So when you're going to take out the THC, you know, and probably go add some other good thing or dumb down some other things in the plant and come tell me, say, boy, it's a medical plant. This. Like John never did set it up from creation, and like it wasn't doing the things that you want this medical version to do from creation. We're not too dig it.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If they're allowed to permit alcohol, which I think is just poison,
all right, and
if they're allowed to permit a whole load of other things, including sugar,
right?
You know,
and salt and these things.
Yeah, I don't understand, you know, about all of that really. To be honest,
right?
It's so obvious that it's something that they want to take advantage of, so they can either criminalize people or make money out of it themselves. That is obviously the agenda, isn't it?
But the money, I mean,
it's really clear.
The money out of it is abundantly clear. You know, I mean, like everything else, you know, herb is a plant to me where people really shouldn't just abuse it. Yeah, because the plant is so potent, it is so multifunctional that I think the plant deserves a level of respect. Indeed. And I think we should really understand the plant because there are different strains that can serve different purposes. So that aspect of understanding the plant, I totally get. But the taking out of things out of the plant may not depend on that. Because it's
then you've processed it then, haven't you?
Yeah, man.
And then what's the point of processing something that just grows?
Yeah, you can't do that, man. Just understand it. Just make it that way, just know why make it that way. Make you understand why. And if we can't understand, then don't leave it alone. Make some people who are interested to know about it come study it. But the plant beautiful. So we try to defend the plant. We also made mention of, again, political wrongdoings, you know what I mean? And these things, and the fact that these things are cyclical. So not because it did happen in 1900, don't feel like it's not happening today. These things are happening today the same way. So a lot of how we can stop the cycle from repeating itself is by knowing your roots and your culture / your history. If we know these things, then we who are serious about what we say we are as conscious beings are going to be making some steps to help reduce, if not eliminate, the same mistakes of yesterday. Hence roots and culture. So that song is driving us to be more than we can be.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Roots and culture. And the one before, the one we're going to play now is called?
Well, you see this tune I know? See there. Big up Jacqueline Teller. I love that.
Jacqueline.
I love that. Set by the Father. That's it. No need to ask. Just appreciate nature as set by the Father. Yes, my sister. Love that. Well, this song now, Hard Time Pressure, is actually a cover song.
Okay.
It's from the catalog of the great Sugar Minott.
Oh, yes.
And we want to play that because I want the ones that overstand to say, we don't only sing our own songs. We do cover songs. And this project was given to me by my brother Trevor Elliott of Musical Ambassadors. He was a long time friend of Sugar Minott and wanted to do a tribute album to him, brethren, and chose this song for me to do. And I'm glad that him and everybody else who's heard it so far, I feel like I did justice to the tune.
Why did they choose you to do
I have no idea why he selected me for this particular song. He called me and said, Asante, I'm doing this project and this is the song I wanted to do. I don't know what informed him, why I feel like this was the one for me, but I give
happy
thanks.
to do it.
Yeah, man, I give thanks to Sugar Minott.
I feel sad that Sugar Minott's gone because, a few weeks ago we managed to interview Vivian Jones as well.
My
and he
brother
spoke
that.
very highly of Sugar Minott as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
was one of his people that was. He said he was a very encouraging person.
Yeah, man. So many
Yeah.
ones can give testimony
Yeah.
of how him help develop careers. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
mean, my icon Garnet was also in the hand of Sugar Minott.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? One of the many proteges he brought to the
Mm.
fore. So that alone again is an extra stripe card.
Wow.
This bridge help my icon come to the fore. So
Yes.
yeah, Sugar Minott ratings tall in
Wow.
a reggae.
I think I might just do a whole show on him.
Which is right.
Explore.
Which is right. And
He won't
England,
be here,
we
but
give him
I'm sure
enough
I
love
can
too.
find things. Yeah, we loved him here.
Yeah,
As
man.
youngsters, we loved his tunes.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah,
we
man.
played it in the 80s. We used to play his tunes all the time.
Oh, gosh, man. Big up the whole of
Yeah,
Youth
man.
Man.
Yeah.
Youth Man promotions every time, you know what I mean?
So here it is then, Hard Time Pressure.
Aye.
Right now, say, Babylon up on the pressure. Oh yes, hard time pressure. Babylon up on the pressure.
Pull up the jewel.
Oh, where you see them? Up.
Time pressure
Pull up for you. I know, where's the...
on this
where's the-
land.
Oh, there it is. No, it's fun, isn't it?
Mikey said big up. Let's talk to Mikey.
Ah, see them. That is
He
salute.
said still up when you finish, you can even phone it.
Another shout it.
Tell us there.
Babylon up on the pressure. Oh yes, hard time pressure. Babylon up on the pressure. Oh yes, hard time pressure. On this land. On this land. Some can't
Alright, I see what you go Vivian Jones. Vivian Jones.
And there's another one that you did with him.
some are forced to stay under it.
Forgive, yeah. Go before me.
They've got to keep
Any one of them.
on slaving.
Any one of them you want to know. Oh, yes, forever loving. Yeah, big tune.
Yes, they've got to keep on slaving. In a Babylon.
But you see, this is harder.
Don't you
I'm rich
give it
here.
up, give it up.
And you know what that is?
Is it the same one?
Keep
Yeah,
on
that's a bit
raising
rich.
a jack and steal it up.
One, two,
Oh yes, they've got to keep on
really bush, man.
stepping
But it's all six.
out of Babylon.
Next then?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same thing.
Keep on
Yeah, that rich. Yeah.
See, like it's got lots on this one.
See, they're tough tune. Ah, nice. It's a tough sugar, man.
Yes, yes, oh yeah.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bam, bam, bam.
Everybody gotta keep on working hard. Everybody gotta keep on slaving right now. They got to keep on slaving. Yes, in a Babylon. Hard time pressure. They got to keep on slaving. In a Babylon. Yes, yes. 'Cause hard time pressure in a Babylon. Hard time pressure in a Babylon. Hard time pressure in a Babylon.
Jennifer, I say, oh. Oh, alright. dancing at Jamaica with people every Monday night.
Oh, they wanted this tune.
She's requesting this tune tonight.
That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Greetings, Sister Jennifer.
Straight up,
We
straight
have
up.
it. And Samuel and Prince Zebulon, I saw you earlier.
True.
Prince Zebulon is my
And
twin.
Jacqueline, you know, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline
Dion,
Taylor,
too.
yes, and Dion, yes, we
Yeah,
saw.
true.
I think we greeted them.
Yeah.
And yes.
All right, so now give thanks for that. Give thanks. They must have my full joy the vibration. We love that.
Oops, oh dear.
Now when I say go, man, I say go, you know. I see we are working on say go.
Okay, so we're going to go and do the next one that we were trying to find a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Called Make Me Rich.
Make me rich, you know.
So we're going to go straight into that one.
See that?
Rose by the rivers of water.
This is the one.
Shall bear fruit in due
Good.
season. Almighty Jah Rastafari says.
Woo!
Hey, Jah alone me praise. Me not praise man, 'cause the human flesh is prone to corruption. So me not care if this not make me rich. A righteousness man not deal with. Hey, I me not care if they not turn in the star. Rastafari overall. Hey, yes. Me not care if this not make me rich.
What? This is my song. Up. I like it.
Rastafari overall, I come before you, asking for prosperity and fulfillment.
We love that. What? Let my ball out, you know. See there, by my job. Up in a Zion, my people. Up in a Zion.
He that planted his rose by the rivers of water
Yeah.
shall bear fruit in due season. Almighty Jah Rastafari says.
Oh, I love it. Oh my word. All I'm full up. What a joy. Give thanks, Rastafari. Oh, the people them sweet. Them sweet.
Hey, listeners are sweet.
Yeah, man.
Good people, good people.
Trust me.
Good people. Thanks.
Trust me. So grateful.
Righteousness cannot deal with. Hey, I'm in a care if we not turning a star. Rastafari overall. Yes. Me no care if it's not make me rich. A righteousness.
Big up all of my songs. It's one of my favorite tunes.
I'm in a care if we not turning a star. Rastafari overall. Yes. Oh, Jah, I come before you, asking for prosperity.
Yeah, you know, that some German youth, the German youth, they come introduce me to that project and we write it and think I'm going to sing it.
I've played it a few times.
Yeah.
I find it really difficult.
Yeah,
Reminds me
yeah.
of young people stuff, like
But
the
it's,
young people
it's,
say,
it's what we call it is road step, you know? Road step.
step. Oh, we could don't name it. What's this one like? I forget what it is.
Love Tune, it's by UK company too.
You done that one?
What else have I had? Not yet, that's the flagship tune. Not a UK company. Yeah, plenty tune in such as the Run Up Part, the latest tune.
So what would you like to do next? Same.
She don't say. Not today. Yeah. This tune mean enough to enough ones I have find. So,
Judgment, no, them That's why me no care if it's not making me rich. A righteousness man not deal with. Hey, and me no care if me not turn in a star. Rastafari overall.
Okay,
So me no care if it's not making me rich. A righteousness man not deal with. Hey, and me no care if me not turn in a star. Rastafari overall. Righteousness man not deal with. Hey, I'm in no fear if me not turning a star. Rastafari overall. Me no fear if it's not making me rich. Rastafari.
That voice though. That voice is so sweet.
Thanks, give thanks. Blessings of the Most High, you know.
I'm gonna ask you about this tune and I'm gonna speak to you about your voice.
Alright.
So this tune then.
Make Me Rich. This song produced now for our brethren in the Netherlands. Elko, big up yourself, Elko. Again, I say it is consistent with basically who I've always wanted to project myself as. A brethren is just a spiritually inclined brethren, a disciple of the Most High, trying to overstand my role and my part in the whole creation. And me just face my portion this. My portion, just like I say, Garnet come do it and Jacob them come do it and enough ones come do it. Then come set a certain pattern to really encourage ones through the music, but also to motivate them through the music, you know what I mean, spiritually and otherwise. And this song is really speaking to that. In my own, it's like my own testimony. I mean, make a one say, yes, I come before the Most High asking for prosperity, but not prosperity for myself, in a vain way, but in a way to help others. You know what
because
I mean?
the thing is, there's things that need to be done.
Aye.
And in the world that we live in, it requires the money, it requires the finances, doesn't it?
That's right. So we need it.
You know, and also, to me, there's no harm in living in a way that one is comfortable, or one feels relaxed, or one feels that they have the space to be creative. You know, so
Definite.
You know, we shouldn't be ashamed to ask for what we want. And expect to get it. Really,
No.
You know.
But and we just know say whatever we are doing, no inch. So if we not get it, you know, that's why I say me no care if this don't make I rich, you know. 'Cause at the end of the day, righteousness is overall. That stands above and beyond everything. So if the vanity come, great. Because we know how we're going to use it because we're guided by the divine creator system about things. If it not come, great. Because we know what it is to not have it anyway. And at the end of the day, the constant in the liberty is righteousness and the pursuit thereof.
My understanding of that thinking that you're sharing now is like you put it out there to the Most High for the things that you need and want. Put it out there to the Creator, but then do not get attached to the outcome. Because that's somebody said it the other day. Yes, it was in the Vivian Jones interview, and he said he was speaking to a brother when he was in South Africa, and he was so inspired by the brother because the brother was saying that the problem with many of us today, especially our people, that we've lost faith. You know, so it kind of stifles us because it stops us from just really having that inner knowing that, you know, whatever we set out to do, we can achieve.
We can achieve it.
So the faith needs to be there.
Yeah, man.
You know, for us to do that and to achieve those things.
Indeed. And it must be cultivated. It not going to just come, so you're not going to just pray and just feel like it's going to come.
No.
You have to cultivate
Well,
that.
we have the, you know, my understanding, you know, if we say, as we say, we're born in the image and likeness of the Most High, that means we have a certain amount of power to create and to determine you know, who we are and what we are, and
True.
and what we wish for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it happens through the mind, through the vision, and through obviously the physical actions that we take as well.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
we just have to get on with it, really, people.
Ashe.
Yeah.
I love that.
So your voice,
Yeah.
your voice. Why is it so sweet? That's all I know it sounds like a baby's question, but why is it so sweet?
Well, I'm glad that you think that is sweet. First and foremost, let me put it out that I'm glad that you think that it is sweet.
It is.
I just feel like, because I said in another reasoning recently that I don't think that I necessarily have the prettiest voice still, but I think with what the Most High has given me try my best to deliver it and utilize it to its greatest
We
effect.
have a wide range. It goes quite high sometimes.
Yeah,
I've tried to get up there with it, and it's a struggle for me.
Well, you know what? I attribute those high notes like it's because again we grew up doing them R&B kind of runs.
Right.
You don't necessarily find that in reggae. There were a few singers that did it still, but that's not the mainstay. While in R&B, especially where I grew up listening to a lot of 90s R&B, there's a lot of falsetto being used in that, a lot of carrying of notes and sustaining of notes. And I used to
Whitney
love
Houston.
that. Oh yeah, as a female singer, murder.
She was the
Murder.
she was the queen of that, wasn't she?
Yeah, man. You had Mariah that who locked the head note, that whisper head note. Mariah was the queen of that particular style. For the males, you had Wani, for example, from Boys to Men, when he would hit that high note and sustain. It's almost like his voice is kind of like yodeling, like on the note. Murder. Brian McKnight, one of my greatest singers.
How do you cultivate that in the lungs? Because I'm sure it doesn't just happen so. You have to cultivate
You have to
it.
practice.
Yes.
The first thing you have to do is learn the breathing techniques. You know, there's a whole art to singing. There's a whole structure to how you must arch your tongue, for example. How you squeeze aspects of your passage so that the air gets thin so that you can sustain.
Wow.
So the breathing, which is why when you talk about yoga,
Yes.
yoga exercises are in sync with what breathing exercises are.
Yes.
I would argue that if anything, all of these other things that like for music and things coming from these kind of practices that was taking place from ancient of days that are carried down, and we apply these things to things such as singing. Yeah. So by learning those kind of things and by exercise and strengthening your core, your diaphragmic area, as well as how to utilize your whole larynx and thing with projecting, we are able to sustain notes. So by holding the breath and expanding that from 5 seconds to 10 seconds to 15 seconds if you can, it is always going to
So you increase your lung capacity.
Yes, and that is the key. That is the key.
Yes.
And then on top of that, I sing almost
So do
every day.
you practice? Okay, you sing every day,
Almost
as in
every day.
practicing or in performing, or both.
No. Well, not performing but practicing.
Okay.
I will run to a number of songs, and while doing that, I'm always focusing on structure and form. I'm making sure that when I hit certain notes, I'm doing the right things to sustain the notes. So it's always practice for me. So I should be able to carry that on the stage seamlessly.
Right.
So it's a never-ending work. It's like always honing your craft,
Yes.
making yourself better,
Yes.
making yourself stronger, so that you can deliver
Yes.
better each time.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the voice, we just give thanks, say we work on it, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one did we say we're going to do next? Hold on.
Let me see about the
The
list.
list.
Now. Let me see about the list now. Cause we play Make Me Richer
Not
now.
today, that's
Not
right.
today.
That's
yeah.
right.
And it's big.
Go on.
You know what me just love about the
14.
song that when me write, you know. We write them from a space of sincerity and truth. And when them go out in the earth, it connects with people and they write me back to tell me what I do for them. So like Not Today was a song again just saying, linking back to what you were speaking about with Vivian Jones and what he was saying to the South African about faith. Not Today is a song about faith. You're not going to sidetrack me. And when I say you, that is the world and anybody who the world and the system is deploying to try and blind my eyes from the real mission that I think I'm on. You're not going to sidetrack me or distract me from what I believe to be my focus. Me here to do your work, and I'm doing it not only through music, but as I said, through being an educator, through being a teacher, through being a spiritual disciple. I'm not going to allow the system or anybody to take that mission or thwart that mission or brainwash me from sticking to that mission. So the song Not Today is answerable to that. And in the song I'm speaking about the trials and tribulations, because life is rough. The realities of life is there we have to face. But in spite of those obstacles and challenges that we confront on a daily, we have to remember what we're there for. And if you don't know yourself, try know yourself.
We're all here for a purpose anyway.
Yeah, man.
Even if we haven't worked it out yet.
Yeah, man.
We're not here just floating around.
No.
There is something that we're here to do.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Well, we will find it. That is the whole thing. We must find it.
The easiest way to find it is just to follow that inner drive that you have. You know, the things that you want to do, the interests that you have. Then I think through that, you know, you will find it. Also, look out for the things that you shy away from, because sometimes we shy away from our purpose. It's like there's certain blockages that prevent us from just bursting forth with it.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you find there's certain things that you know, seem to be drawn to, but at the same time shy away from, usually there's that tension there, and within there you usually find out, you know, really what your purpose is.
True word.
You
True
know?
word. True word.
So the next one is called
Not Today.
Not Today. Here we are.
Up.
Oh, part of that Disney thing. People loved it, but they were different people from different parts. It was so nice.
This road of life, behind her, through the twists and turns. So many times to rest my faith, Lord, but nothing ever give up. Oh no, nothing ever give up. See, they try to take my crown, they want I to wear a frown. They try to stop my progress, but Jah inside for a chance. No matter how the hill might steep, I will climb it, and nothing ever give up. Oh no, no one can hold I down. No, not today, or tomorrow, or the next day. Can you stop this mission? That I saw in a vision, not today, or the next month, or the month after that. And you slow us
It's a bit
down.
scary if you don't know what's going on. Go before me.
Yeah. Go before me.
That sounds like this the next one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hold your ground, and not them with their non-jacker. I say keep your focus.
See?
Not all on the workers. Keep moving up. Keep moving up.
Give that.
Make sure you have a bank book for your money. And when you not put in a bank up, buy some house and land with big cars.
In between that, you're just sort of telling it. You're singing, but you're teaching. It's so clear what you're saying.
Remember this, my friend. You can't save no one if you don't save yourself. So not today, or tomorrow, or the next day. Can you stop this mission? But I saw in a vision. Not today, no, next month.
Yeah. Trust me.
That's one twin. They were on the same day.
Down.
Yeah. We did a show together last week. It was not last week, the week before. We went to his station and then he came to mine.
You can stop.
We played 2 days in a row.
Excellent. Excellent. That's why they reach out to me, man. Sweet brother. up, up, up. Keep the fire blazing.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're in a conversation.
Yeah, well, this is all the joy. It's natural, you know. This is a flow natural, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So not today.
Better than Facebook Messenger.
Don't it?
Live and direct. Yeah.
Live and direct, man. You
Yeah.
can get the real energy. True, man.
It's true. So that one was oh, you did introduce that one already.
Yeah, man.
That
So
one,
not today, you know what I mean?
not today. Yeah, you did talk a bit
yeah.
about that. So we're going to play the next one called Go Before. Go Before
me.
Me. Yeah.
So this I want to know. Let me just big up Vivian, Sugar Love Jones, and the Imperial Music House family. Them response to them, Julian.
Okay. Yes.
Vinyl
But
style too.
he speaks really highly of you because he talked about how you met on that same
Yeah.
Passing Clouds.
Yeah.
That was a special night.
It
you know?
was, you know,
It was a
Imperial House
special
music.
night.
Trust me, it was, you know what I'm
Passing
saying?
Clouds.
You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, they're not doing that same thing there anymore. But
You serious?
no, they're not doing that same event. The
So-
pressure one.
Yeah.
Sound and pressure
Sound
one.
and
No,
pressure.
they're not
Oh
doing
no. Oh no.
that. I think the club closed it or something. But while it was on, it did some special things.
It's true. It's
You
true.
know, and
Well,
that night-
it brought Diana and I together.
Yes.
So some special
All of
things
us,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah. And even the sister that played before you, Casey Pearl, you've done something with her too.
Oh, beautiful! I never even know
Yeah,
that.
she's a beautiful sister, and she used to be one of my teaching assistants in my class.
Oh, yes,
It was just too much that night. It was just too much. Anyway,
Great.
the connections, when everyone's working in spirit, the connections just flow in an amazing way.
So what have to give the Almighty all the praise I can that me I talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hands and hearts, man. Hands and hearts.
So this next tune.
Oh, next one,
Even though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil. Yes, even though you fight, yes, so go before me, God and protect me. No matter what will ever correct me, oh Father, 'cause are you are me done. Are you are your makers, are you are your makers. Oh, go before me, God and protect me. No matter what will ever correct me, no matter what you eat, so my flesh, keep me far from the filthiness. Thanks and praise, thanks and praise. I give him most like thanks and praise.
I say pull.
For everything he's done for life.
I like it.
Better or worse until I die. I said thanks and praise, thanks and praise. I give him most like thanks and praise.
What a joy.
Even though I walk
What a
through the
joy.
valley of death, I will fear no evil. Yes, even though you fight, I might not rise. Yes, so go before me, God and protect me. No make no wolf will ever corral me, oh Father, 'cause are you are me done. Are you alone me praise, are you alone me depend on. Oh, go before me, God and protect me. No make the wolf will ever corral me, no make the wicked eat up my flesh. Keep me far from the filthiness. Thanks and praise, thanks and praise. I give the most high thanks and praise. For everything he's done for I, for better or worse, until I die. I say thanks and praise, thanks and praise.
Oh, ja, I love it.
Thanks and praise. Whether wrong or right, I give praise. Cause when you are live clean and not heal the king, dirty heart I go sit and bad minded thing. So you have to ready for them. Have up your sword and shield for them. And when them come with them manish water, I said I set them look after, run them way. Cause them a vampire, hungry soul seeking vampire. So God and protect me. No let the wolf leopard come around me. Oh Father, cause you are me done. My God, cause you alone me depend on. Oh, before me, God and protect me. No let the wolf leopard come around me. No let the wicked eat up my flesh. Keep me far from the filthiness. So I and I go cross over.
Alright, the balance is so sweet. Yes, Jacqueline, which is right. The balance is so sweet.
I will cross over and reach my destiny.
Exactly the beauty sister as well.
Oh God, I see it, man. I see it. I love that.
Every trick and scheme you
Are you ready?
cause the most high
It's scatty because of my head, but you'll be fine.
I love that. I love that.
Here I be my strength, be my buckler. Hear me when I go. Oh Father, here I don't let me enemies triumph over. Make them know it's your faith that I will win the race. So go before me, guide and protect me. Now make the wolf a leopard that conquer me. Oh Father, cause you are me done. I you alone me praise, I you alone me depend on. Oh, before me, guide and protect me. Now make the wolf a leopard conquer me.
Yeah, man, the edit is nice, man. Nice.
Keep me far from the filthiness. Oh, go before me, guide and protect me. Now make the wolf a leopard that come to ride me, Father. No,
Wonderful tune, wonderful singing, wonderful voice.
Oh, give thanks. Oh man.
Beautiful,
Oh man.
beautiful, beautiful. Yes, just to remind everyone, this is Real Music FM. Oops, realmusicfm.com, and this is the Conscious Living Vibration show with myself, Sister Nkechi the WarriorQueen, alongside the wonderful, wonderful Asante Amen,
Thanks, give thanks.
who's here with us today. And I'd like to give thanks to all the listeners, those
True.
on the Mixlr and those on Facebook Live. Sister Jasmine, I see you. Sister, yeah, beautiful
Hey.
Sister Jasmine.
True.
Sister Jacqueline, I see you. Lots of love. And I thought I saw, is it Emmanuel? Oh, hi.
Yeah,
Joined.
Emmanuel Bedin. True.
Yeah,
True.
that's
true.
my cousin.
Eh?
That's my cousin.
Big up, cuz.
Yes.
Big up yourself.
Yes. And he lives in the US.
Yeah, man. We love
Yeah,
that. We love
yeah.
that.
Because he did say the other day that he listens. I said, you never let yourself be known that you listen. So he made sure he give thanks. Yeah, nice.
On a night like tonight, we give thanks for the strength.
I did
Trust
spot
me.
it. I did spot you. That's what you said. He joined, you know.
Yeah, man. Reality.
That tune, though, that you've just played.
Yeah.
And the rhythm track
May I tell you? May I
just
tell you?
transports you, you know. Such a
Imperial
beautiful
House,
tune.
man. Imperial House. But I tell you, say, as I say again, we give thanks for the way how my thing kind of shape out in terms of music and the souls I've been fortunate to work with. You know what I mean? So to work with Brother Vivian and his team on a track like that, you know what I mean? On a classic kind of rhythm like that was really a moment in time for I, you know. And again, we try to bring ourselves, our full self, to the song, and in return, I say, because this is the thing, you know, anything we do, we could try to do it to the fullness, or to the best of our ability, you know, and everything else we follow from that will follow. So we did that, and the ones who received the tune, the testimonies that they gave of how the tune impact upon them, is what me really work from. If the song has transformed your life, if the song has prevented you from doing certain things, or it has led you to do certain things upfully,
We just
then-
comforted you.
Yeah, that means that the job has
Inspired.
been done.
Mhm.
The job has been done.
Mhm. So this next one's forgive.
Imperial House once again. Some people I get two, cause me and Brother Vivian work on a few projects, and these are the two where really they are road certain way. So forgive again. Are looking at what His Majesty go through. Now this is where we directly not only through our own life, but the example His Majesty set with the whole Italy thing and the invasion.
Mhm.
And His Majesty said to the Italian and straight, we will forgive you. We won't forget.
Mm. Mhm.
And that was a critical thing. So it's wrong that the whole song build, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because, and some people feel like say, because there is a parallel reasoning in our earth, you know, where if you don't, quote unquote, let things go, that means you haven't moved on. We burn them kind of reasoning there.
Mm.
Our past informs our future actions.
Yes.
And that is why, when we look on certain things, if you keep on forgetting what happened yesterday, you will now go see the signs of things that will come to
When
you
they're
today.
about to happen again. Yes.
And you can't guide the youth, them has to say, yo,
And also
read
you're
the
supposed to
signs.
use it to learn from as well.
Of course.
It's meant to inform how you move forward on things.
Yeah, yeah. But we're not
To
going
do
to
it
hold no
better.
grudge.
No, no.
Yeah, we're not
Because
gonna
that will
hold no
keep you
grudge
down
about
as well, because that eats you like a cancer.
Ah,
You don't want that, you know, that
That is
kind of anger and negativity.
that is it.
Can't hold on to that.
Yeah, well, I'm on that. So we'll,
Yeah,
so
it's a
we
real
will
art though,
forgive
isn't
you,
it?
we'll let go that,
Yes.
but it stays with us, you know what I mean? And it forms our future steps. For real.
So, let's hear.
Sweet life, sweet life, sweet life.
Forgive us trespass against us, as we forgive us our trespasses. Oh, Jah, oh, Jah.
Yeah, man, it's nice, man.
No, I won't forget, but I will forgive. Won't harbor no grudge within. I won't forget, but I will.
Lesson of life, yes. The Leila Ramsey, sure. Yeah, beautiful.
Won't harbor no grudge within. I won't forget, but I will
Time for some lovey-dovey stuff now.
Yeah. We'll give them the spiritual food.
Yeah, make them 30 minutes. Huh? Oh, 10 minutes. Not going to one. It's 4:30. Oh, okay. Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Oh,
Come and tell me this thing all the time.
I think it's for 1 o'clock.
Life's sweet, rather meet young boys. I know when you are dealing,
Yeah, there's a bit.
so I won't
People,
but I will forgive. Now harbor no grudge within. I
they
won't,
might say that it's busted.
but I will
Busted to one night. My neighbours daren't trouble me.
no, even though I won't forget, I will forgive.
So take it on with the Lover's Day. Which one?
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Chuck.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it around too. There's another really pretty one that, which one was it?
It's just a fact of life. People
What,
will do
yeah, you're just,
what is
what
right.
it is?
It might be that one, but when I see the title, I remember it.
I will forgive.
Yeah, my Empress was nice.
Oh, yeah.
And also, there was another one, I just remember it when I said, oh no, the title. Not for sale. That was quite a nice one. It was called,
yeah.
oh, that's right. Yeah, something like that. It was,
As you forgive us our trespasses, oh Jah, oh Jah. No, I won't.
You not never get over it? I was getting enough. With this
oh, that one.
Yeah,
That's
very
the one.
first one on the CD.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, on CD too, the very first one.
But is it though?
Yeah, when you played it.
Have I played it already?
Yeah. But we touched it.
Oh,
we
they
didn't,
did
but we
it.
didn't play it. Yeah.
If I do those two, that's fine.
Yeah. Getting enough on chocolate. Nice.
This one with the chocolate ones. Oh, it's so creamy.
I didn't see it in that list. No.
Huh?
I didn't see it in this list.
Sure, I can't. I'm so mad with myself if I didn't put it on. Must be there. Where is it? I saw it. I'm not going to get it. I think quick now. Why that song?
You've been getting it up. We can probably figure that out.
Maybe that was last night.
Yeah.
Where is it?
See it down. Up, 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 up,
Oh,
up.
yes, and yes, we're closing slightly earlier today at 12:30. So we're going to sort of round off with a few of Asante Amen's lovers tunes.
See it there.
Let me see. Yes, so I'm going to take that one off.
Don't touch that one, I know. That
Put
one,
this
I
one
know. Where
on.
it's another lessons of life kind of lovers too,
Yeah,
you know?
love.
Yeah, car.
I'm gradually getting there. It's taking me a little while to kind of.
But it's nice, man. I see the
Yeah.
ones that we are listening, no, comes to say the thing organic and sweet.
Yeah,
the way
the
it
one,
is.
it's as long as they're on a nice rhythm track and the words are meaningful. These ones are nice still.
Give thanks
These
and
ones
praise.
are nice. These ones are nice. So I'm going to play. What was this one called?
This one is called Getting Enough.
Do you want to explain it first?
Yeah, well, basically, I'm just asking the question, you know. Sometimes we start relationships, or we're in relationships, but we don't really do a critical analysis of the partner that we're with. And so I'm really asking the questions, the real questions that need to be asked so that you can do an assessment of yourself and your relationship. If it now work for you, why are you doing it for? Are you really satisfying? Are you really getting what you want out of it? If not, then you need to be disciplining on yourself. You need to really go look for what you really want so that you can be all that you can be within that kind of a context. You know what I mean? Some people just have a partner because they just have a partner.
Yes, for the sake of it, you know.
Joking that in at this time, you know?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So we encourage the ones them to really know themselves, and in knowing yourself, you're going to know what you want out of your partner.
I love your tunes because they are so thoughtful, you know. Like you're really a deep thinker. I can see.
Yeah, we try to be, you know. We
Yeah.
try to be all that the most that made us to be, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's play it then because we're running out of time. No?
The next one too.
Never miss your water until your well one dry. I like it.
Can I ask you something, baby? Have you ever had a man undress you with his mind,
What, take it off?
touch you with his
So what are the
soul,
feedback?
then
No, this
love
is
your
taking off the
body?
microphone when we're not using it. Yeah, it does something. I don't know what it does. Normally we just take it off. No, I've been doing it, but this last time I forgot. Yeah, time.
My Empress, we can just touch my Empress.
On you every single day, and never
What's this one?
stays away too long to make your body
Sounds a bit nicer.
It's
your voice, is this one?
We have different styles, you know.
Lovely.
So are you getting enough? Are you getting enough?
It's so hard about this one.
Baby, all the needs you have inside.
please, on that one?
You know, say, it's a sister. Oh my word, I know. Connie Francis. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. So the track means even more to me that Sister Connie is no longer here. You know what I mean? But she was a beautiful vocal.
I can hear it, you know?
Beautiful vocalist.
Wow. And the way you sing it as well, I would love to analyse that a bit more, but we're running out. We've only got like a minute left.
True.
I would just like to play one last tune.
Yeah.
Called My Empress.
Yeah. So we can't find him, no?
Yeah, so we're going to just play around till we can find it.
Yeah, so we can't find him.
According to this, it's number 4. I don't know if it is.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? This is it indeed. Number 1. To all the empresses out there.
Last tune.
So beautiful to me, even the blind can see. My embrace, my African embrace. You're like rubies and precious stones to me.
I just feel them out. Ask the artist about them.
I'm glad you have.
You're a treasure, yes you are.
You don't have to be very prolific.
Straight to my
Creating, and so on. So just get what's behind it. Because it reminds people about what's there. It reminds you of what you've done. You can get that kind of, kind of feeling, you know? It's supposed to have, you know? Self-appreciation.
Yeah. And make you remember, we have come from, I remember the street that I did, and the camp that I was in at the time. That was, we just got started on that Yeah. Well, we touched on it. Yeah, because it's common. Other ones were able to come to that, but actually it was new. Okay, whenever the drawing line is yeah, man, kind of a party. Right.
So there's no way all the love you send my way. My embrace.
Didn't help that my computer crashed as well. I would have made it all on my computer. It was just one small piece. Kind of funny, you know. Tunes lined up nicely in a way that I think you just see what's going on. So now we just got the phone now.
I'll always have that love for my lady.
Let you distract me, you know.
Cause your love can't deny. My African embrace. You're like rubies and precious stones to me. My embrace, my African embrace. You're a treasure, yes you are my beauty queen. So precious.
So.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe you said see the now.
We finished for now.
Wow. For now.
For now, yes. We're gonna have to do a part 2, definitely.
Straight.
Definitely a part 2, because that 2, it wasn't even quite 2 hours, was it? Because we started about 10 to.
Yeah.
So we've had about 2 hours. We're expecting to get an hour, 2.5 hours.
Straight. And so much more that if we go through and
there's so
more
much, because
reasoning.
there's a lot of new things. One thing we have to mention before we go.
Yes.
If you'd like to see Asante Amen live and direct,
Straight.
while he's in London, he's doing one show at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe while he's here, he'll get to do another one. But there's one lined up, and that is just in what day is it today? Monday.
Yeah, man.
It's in
Thursday.
3 days' time on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the Hootenanny in Brixton.
Yep.
So he's playing there. The Hootenanny starts about 8. It's supposed to get there early, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, say
Yeah,
that's it. I people can reach him for 9. You know what I mean? Come all a joy. Also, it features VC.
And VC as
Yeah,
well.
man, buy his deeds. So
Buy
it's great
his
to be
deeds.
singing alongside
that
them
one.
Big Monday. You know what I mean?
It'd be good to see them.
Yeah, man,
'Cause
that nice
I
one.
always,
That was a
I always
nice one.
wondered who sang that song, you know?
Oh, yeah, man. Walton Craig, man, VC. Big singer.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a night of really reggae music. Each of us have at least 1 hour sets. So it's a lot of music.
Ooh,
Yeah, man. A lot of variety. You know
that's
what I mean?
good.
Yeah.
That's good. So that's in Brixton, right here in London. If you can fly over from wherever you are.
Yeah, don't it? Come all a jive with it.
Or if you're in Brixton, make sure you're out there. And if you're in London, try and get over there. And that's at the Hootenanny. And that's this Thursday, the 21st
That's right.
of September.
Yep.
Okay. Right, so to all the listeners, we give thanks for your listening ears. To all the fellow presenters of Real Music FM,
Straight.
give thanks for all the work that you're doing. I'm glad to be part of your team.
Straight.
And to you, Asante Amen, give thanks. I know you don't
No,
even
it's
look
a
like you just
pleasure.
travelled, you know.
Yeah, don't
You
it?
don't look
Yeah,
like
but
you
I'm
just-
yard me there.
You don't look like you've had this great long journey.
No, man, I mean, yard me there. Read music FM with them moves before I'm everything sweet, you know.
Yeah, so we give thanks for you coming. We
Thank you for
hope you
having
have
me.
part 2 before you go back.
Indeed.
Because we've only just done a little tiny fraction of the tunes.
We've only just begun. The romance is not over.
Yeah. So give thanks and good night.
Love and honor.
Love.